Today we're going to make an origami frog, and what I'm going to do first is going to make my paper into a square. So it's the same way as we did with the origami cootie catcher. I'm going to fold it so it's like a little triangle, trying to make it a nice point at the top. Then I chop off this little extra rectangle from the bottom. This is what I'm going to be using. I'm actually going to decorate this with some crayon because I like to know kind of which side I'm working with. Sometimes it's helpful. It can be easier sometimes to decorate before instead of after it's like all squished up. So this time I'm going to do it before. Be careful of any textures. You can see my table is a very textured table, so I'm going to try to avoid some of these little bumps unless I want them there. I'm going to finish this up and then we'll start folding. There you go. I actually only decorated one side of this with polka dots. I was kind of inspired by a picture I saw of a rainforest frog. And the reason I'm going to do that is because the first step of this is folding my paper in half like a rectangle. So now one side of my paper has spots and the other side does not. Now you could also, if you wanted to, just take your paper, like this one I colored green, fold it in half, and then cut it down the middle. Or as we saw last week, if you don't have scissors, you can always fold it and kind of rip it. And then I could have two papers for frogs. So they kind of jump differently, so you can experiment and see which one you like the best. I kind of like it being a little bit thicker, but sometimes that makes it a little trickier. So it just gives you another option. So I'm going to take this after I have folded it in half. And my next step is going to be doing kind of what I did before, where I fold this top into like a little triangle. And actually, I'm going to do it so that my spotted side is over there because that's going to be the side that you can see a little bit more on the back. So I'm going to fold it into a triangle this way. Okay, open it up. I've got this triangle crease line right there. Take this corner, fold it into a triangle the other way. So I got this lined up so it's nice and pointy. And then I've got a little X. Now this time I'm folding backwards. Okay, I'm not folding down, I'm folding backwards right in the middle of my X. So now it looks like this. There's a line going in the middle. And if you've got it, sometimes you can push it. It's called like a magic button. Boop. So I want it to be pressed in like that. And I'm going to take these two corners. Well, they're not really corners. These two sides. Push them together. Push them down. Push it all down. And look at that. So I'll show you that again. Took the two sides. Put them together. Put it down. Pushed it all down. If it's not working that nicely, go back and check your folds to make sure you folded things the right way, because it should all go down nicely into this triangular form. Now this is where I'm going to make his feet, so I'm going to put his feet up there. Feet up there. Now we're starting to see it look like a little frog. With the bottom, I'm going to fold it up. He's very long, so this is going to fold up just in half, stopping right here at this line. And now he's very wide, so I'm going to fold it in. And this is going to kind of go underneath his little arms a little bit. So I'm folding it right to the middle. I'm taking this. It's getting a little bit thicker, so you just got to make it do what you tell it to. So I folded both sides in so that they're touching in the middle. And that's how I know it's the middle, is that little line there. And now there's a couple of different things you can do at this point. The easier way would be, I'll show you with this other frog. I'll make this catch up real fast and show you two different ways of doing the feet. So there we go. Got 2 frogs, same spot. On one of them, you can just pull it up and then push it back. So I pulled it up past the line and then pushed it back a little bit so that it looks like this when you're done. It's got a little zigzag. Once again, I just pulled it up, kind of folding this so it's going over this corner, and then folded it back in half, and that will hop. Woo! Hopped right off. It's not as powerful a hop, but it works. The harder way to do it, and it is harder, it's the same first step, except I'm stopping at the little point. A lot of paper I'm squishing down, okay? And then I kind of take these little corners in here and I'm pulling them out. So I'm gonna do one at a time. So I take this little corner, I'm gonna hold this guy down, I'm pulling it out and squishing it out like that. This is not easy, guys, okay? So it was in here, I took this little edge, I pulled it out. Sometimes people find it useful to like bend this a little bit first. I don't know if I've ever found that to be super helpful, but if you're having trouble, maybe try to bend that down so there's a little bit of a crease there. Once again, holding the rest of it down, finding my little corner here, pulling it out, and squishing it down. Woo! And those are his legs. And then you would just take them, squish it down like that. I like to kind of have them sticking out a little bit. I don't want them to be straight down like that. I like to stick them out. And then I like to make a little feet. Little feet. I just put the little corner over. We are almost done. I'm gonna take him. He's gonna touch his toes to his hands by folding him in half. Really squishing it down now because it's getting really thick. And then the last one, I'm going to squish it in half one last time. So it's very similar to what this is, I just have some feet now. So it just looks a little bit more complex. And because it's thicker paper, it's actually gonna jump a little bit better, I bet. Yes, so you can see, oh, the thicker the paper, the kind of more jump it's got. I could also take my extra paper that I cut off and I could make this into a little one. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Well, I'm just gonna do it real fast and show you the difference in jumping. So I would just take this and kind of cut it so it's a square, the size of 2 squares. It doesn't have to be perfect, that's one of the nice things. I'm gonna fold this up real fast. And now I just use my extra little paper for this little guy, and he, whew, is jumping pretty good too. I'll let you know, a lot of times my smaller ones will jump a little bit farther than my bigger ones. But that kind of just shows you some different ways of doing this. And of course I could finish it up by adding some eyes or some other details. Kind of your call. Make this one a goofy looking one. I hope you have fun doing some origami frogs, and hope they can hop far for you. All right, have fun with them.